Okay. Final thing I want to talk about at Anime Expo is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart, which is Magic Knight Rayearth. I watched this anime when I was about 6 or 7 years old. It hit every single note of something that a kid would like. It's an isekai, it's a mecha anime, it's a D&D anime. Like the reasons why this sort of anime would be amazing for a kid, dude, is unsurmountable. And I was really, really happy to see that in Anime Expo we would have the experience, the opportunity to watch the premiere for episodes 1 and 2, man, and that's what I watched. It was a really, really cool panel, and Takahashi Rie and Hanami Saori were there, those two voice actresses for the game, for the anime. And you guys know me as an FGO fan. Takahashi Rie to me is a freaking treasure of Japan, dude. She is so funny, she's amazing. Being in the same room as her, it was already insane. It was already worth the entire freaking ticket for that, in my opinion. It was really cool to see something from Clamp made after 2020. And I'm not sure if we even got anything like that, but Clamp, for anybody that doesn't know, they are the creators of Magic Knight Rayearth, but they also created a lot of stuff that you probably know, like RG Veda, X 1999, Holic, Card Captor Sakura, Kobato, dude, I could go on, right? They've made Angelic Layer, dude, they've made so many things that were insanely popular, not even in Japan, but in Brazil, where I'm from. It's, oh my god, how could I forget? Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, right? Which is kind of like their Smash Brothers. It's really cool as a nostalgia guy to be able to see something like Rayearth, which is hands down my favorite isekai and my favorite, work of Clamp, being remade in 2026, man. Dude, this is something that I'll be able to show my children without it having to be, the actual anime from the 90s. I was ecstatic about being able to watch it. If you guys don't know, Magic Knight Rayearth itself is a manga from 1993 that I was able to read in Brazil when I was younger. It's an anime that, I think the anime was made in 95 or something. The anime went off in open television in Brazil. That's why it was so popular there. Like I told you guys, the anime for Rayearth has magical girls. It has basically a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It is an isekai. It has magic. It has knights. It has monsters. It has cool villains, cool characters. It has mechas, giant armored suits. Dude, look at this shit. This is the coolest fucking shit ever, dude. Right? This is the end game. The anime is about 3 girls. They get isekai'd. They're in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign to save this freaking world. And the end game is to resurrect these suits of armor. They're called the Mashin, which are freaking giant mechas, to fucking fight the Demon King or whatever the fuck. Dude, it's what's his name? I forgot his fucking name. It's the black-haired guy. He's very handsome. I forgot his name. Anyways, it is out of this world. I've watched this thing like 3 times during my life. And Clamp has this distinct writing style where even if you watch their works later, there's going to be a lot of subtle hints and things that only adults are going to understand. Every time you watch it again, you get a little bit more out of the experience than when you watched it before. Clamp has this very, very Clamp character design. They did an amazing job. The characters look even better than what they did in the original 90s anime. Now, there is a difference in the aesthetic. And if I'm gonna criticize something, is that even though the characters look exactly like Clamp's distinctive art style, it feels like you're kind of missing something from what the anime originally was in the 90s. And I don't know if it's just the freaking filter from 90s animation, you guys know what I'm saying? Or what is it? But there is something missing. However, I was very, very surprised, pleasantly surprised, with what I saw during the first and the second episode that we were able to experience. It was out of this world. And it was funny because at the same time in Brazil, I would watch the Dungeons and Dragons animations. I think that animation is actually from the late 80s. But this always seemed so superior, man. Like, I loved everything about it. The vibrant colors from the 90s, man. They use a lot of chibis in the episode, which is very, very Clamp too. It was really cool. One quick thing I wanted to talk about the episodes themselves is that in the 90s, anime it felt to me, at least, that anime would take a lot more, I guess, freedoms in changing shit, changing things from the manga to be able to adapt better to whatever the animation was, or budget and time constraints that they have, or they had. Some things kind of get lost during the adaptation. A quick example here, I don't want to give, like, I don't think it's a spoiler because, you know, this is a 30-year-old anime. They skipped over stuff in the original adaptation, right? A really, really quick example is that Clef here, our guy, he gives them their suits, you know, and their magic power at the same time. And he doesn't really explain shit about how magic works or whatever. In the manga, it is, he first gives them their armor, then he gives them the magical power, then he explains to Hikaru how to use that magic. What I'm saying is that it feels like with the remake, they are taking things much more in a much better pace, and they're explaining things better to the viewer and the reader. They're giving more time for the characters to show to the audience what they are like. You know, Hikaru just isn't this happy-go-lucky, yay, let's fight, let's do the right thing type of character. There's a lot more depth to her. And I feel like that was a little bit lost in the adaptation back in the 90s compared to the manga. Here, it really feels like they're taking their time to show the viewer everything that Clamp intended to show the viewer. Now, here's the deal with Rayearth itself, man. And whether you're going to ask me like, okay, Ktsu, should I watch this anime or not? Here's the thing, man. 100%. Rayearth is supposed to be a remake and is supposed to be targeting the nostalgia freaks like me. Sure, I do believe that when people watch this anime and they're young, like they are my age when I first watched it, they're going to freaking love it. But if you watch the Rayearth remake thinking it's going to be the greatest thing ever and that the story is going to be absolutely insane and it'll blow your mind out of the water, like, I'm sorry, man. You're not going to get any endings from Cold Geass here. The anime is being made for the nostalgia or for the target audience, which is much younger people. There are things, now I'm not gonna, that's the beauty of Rayearth that I say. There are things that if you watch right now, most of the people that watch my channel, you guys watch a bazillion anime too, right? There are things you're gonna get out of it that are cool, especially thinking that this was made in 1993. If you go in with that mentality, like this is an anime made in 1993, and it was extremely innovative for the time with having mechas and having a high fantasy setting, and the isekai setting wasn't that, you know, didn't see it everywhere. If you go into with that mentality, I think you're gonna have a good time. And understanding to who this is made for. Even though Clamp did the character design in Cold Geass, like, don't expect this to be a seinen and, you know, to really catch you off guard, etc., etc. No, dude, that's not what Rayearth is. That's not what it's supposed to be. And I'm not trying to sell it like that. I'm saying that me personally, I have a very, very dear attachment to this piece of media, and the biggest reason why I'm going to watch it again is because I feel like I'm going to see animated a much better adaptation of the manga from what I was able to gather. Albeit, I still much rather prefer the beautiful aesthetic from the 90s, for the first 90s adaptation, right? But I think it's worth watching. You guys come here to my channel because you know that whenever I give you guys an opinion or I give you guys a suggestion, it really comes from the heart and it is really what I think. This anime is definitely not for everybody. It is definitely not something that you suggest so people can have their mind blown or see the greatest narrative of all time. No. This anime is for either people who are nostalgic about the piece, who want to see a different side of the adaptation and want to see more things that maybe they didn't see in the manga because they haven't read the manga, or for people who want to experience a piece of the 1990s that was really insane for the time it came out and understand who this was for at that time. It's kind of like watching JoJo's Part 1. When you watch JoJo's Part 1, you need to understand it's an anime, it's a manga written in the 80s, bro. It was written for an 80s audience. And the things that were explored in manga and animation back in the 80s were very limited. That's how you should approach something like this. You know, just being 100% honest with everybody. That said, I am extremely confident that it's going to be cool. As far as the original adaptation was. From what I saw way more faithfulness to the manga, a almost perfect or even perfect rendition of Clamp's character designs in a 2026, you know, era. Just dialogue, man, almost word for word what I got from the manga. I feel like some things were missing. Even them exploring way more of the manga than, you know, the previous anime adaptation. I felt like there were a couple of things missing, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil for anybody that doesn't know, right? So, but like, I get it. Maybe it's things they want to explain later in further episodes. Maybe they want to reorder things around to make more sense. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this is it. I hope you guys liked it. I hope if you guys are fans of Rayearth that you guys are looking into this. I was very, very surprised with the amount of people that came to the panel, the amount of people that were hyped up for something that is very clearly a lot of nostalgia bait. And it was just really cool to see that America had fans for Rayearth too, man. It's a cool anime. It's fun. I said, man, if you liked it, leave down a comment. Let me know if you guys like Rayearth too, okay? I'll be your boy, Ktsu. Give me a sub. Give me a follow. It really helps out. Being a boy. Signing out.